Hello. How's everyone doing today? Woo, it's Friday. Why do I have the chair out? I don't know, the chair's still out. I'll put the chair there while I knock it over. Stay. How's everyone doing today? Yes, it's Friday. Woo! Nice relaxing stream today, I think. We'll see how it goes. We did this, so we've already built one of these. Well, technically, no. We built the pump action one. This one's the bolt action one. But we built the Talon on a members stream. So every month, we do a members-only live stream on this channel for our YouTube members and Patreon supporters. But this time we're doing it live, we're doing it public, and we're gonna be building a Cynthia kit, which is a bolt action Nerf gun. It's all 3D printed. I have the part somewhere. There we go. So I've got, hopefully I printed everything. I printed these like a couple weeks ago, so I hopefully have everything. I've got some tools. I've got some scrapers and knives and whatnot. A parts kit. You can self-source these. However, why do that? Who self-sources anyway? Who self-sources anymore? Like, let's be honest here. So this is I believe it's Silver Fox Industry kit. Which, speaking of, we have a gift card. So not only do we have the spool of Polymaker filament that we give away every stream, link in the video description, we have a $100 Silver Fox Industry gift card to give away as well. Shout out to a community member for donating that. So yeah, if you want to build one of these, link in the description. Go check out Silver Fox. This isn't a sponsored stream or anything like that. We're just, these are fun. I built one and these are cool, and now I'm building another. So yeah, let me find, so I can plug that in, or that's already plugged in, but I need batteries for that, or not batteries. I need are you up here? No, you're not the charger. Uh-oh. Here we go. There we go. Cameras work better when they have power. So yeah, so I don't know how long this is going to take to build. This is just going to be a nice little relaxing Friday stream between the build series. And then next Friday, if you haven't had a chance yet, next Friday is the community challenge stream. So every month we do a community challenge on the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, link in the description. Enter for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, some Only Benchies merch. And all you have to do is just print something. Simple as that. You don't have to be a designer. You just got to print something and enter it. And this month's theme is organization. So if you've got, you know, I've already seen a ton of, what's Zach Freeman's thing? Not IsoCube, not Infinicube. I don't know. You know what I mean? So if you're printing one of those, there's a lot of them already. So be creative. It's an out of darts. Oh, it's an out of darts kit. Sorry. This is an out of darts kit. But the gift card I have is for Silver Fox, which I believe Gridfinity, that's what it is. Which Silver Fox does have Cynthia kits. So let me pull it up here. Let me turn this on. So if you're curious, this is the kit I have. That is the wrong button. That is the wrong button. Let me get the music going too. Desktop. This is, I'm in Canada, eh? So yeah, oh, price goes up, Canada. Okay, so this is the kit we're using. So basically you could self-source all this yourself. And the files themselves are, they're free for the files. So this is what we're building. Fabrico gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers. And Andrew Rogers, $9.99. Cheers for the Nerf ammunition. I am set on that. I've got like 2 of these, although one of these, half of them's like gone. They're under couches and behind bookshelves, and you know how it is. You know how it be. So also, if you are entering, I'm not sure where Silver Fox ships to. Please check before you enter. I don't want to give a gift card to somebody who won't be able to use it properly. And again, it's just the gift card. You're on your own for shipping, receiving, duties, all that jazz. That's on you. So yeah, so I've got, let's see here. Mobile. There we go. I've got a bunch of printed parts here. So I printed everything in some OD green and brown. And then I also used some gold. This is gold ABS. It's not quite shiny, but that's that. And then we have the parts kit, which is right here. So let's actually open this up because I haven't looked at this yet. Hello. Okay, so we got the barrel. I see you. We got some springs. We got some rods. We've got a clear plastic tube, and we've got Silver Fox. Oh, this is a Silver Fox kit. Cynthia, this is a Silver Fox kit. It doesn't come with the magazine, though. It's a magazine, not a clip. Have I printed something I could shoot? I have me. We have the me I printed on the Prusa the other day. So I might, you know, but the problem is I'm gonna be William telling this shit at like 10 feet, not even. So glue that tube. Okay, so what do you mean glue the tube? What do you mean glue the tube? Because there's instructions for this, but the instructions are a video. I'm gonna be hitting the wrong button all day. Firing dimmer blaster assembly video. So we got like a video that we got to follow to build this. Need to glue the RAM into the tube. Tube. Let me see if I have some E6000. I had some E6000, but I don't know where I put it. I have super glue. I've got super glue. I've got B7000. I've got steel stick. I've got super glue. It should be the very first step in the video. Okay, well, let's okay, this is actually, one second. This is gonna be kind of annoying for a second. I'm gonna have to play with the audio levels because I need to be able to hear this. So.
Blaster. If you haven't seen it before, Cynthia is a bolt action blaster. Here are a few of the possible setups of the...
Okay, so let me get the music going. Okay, so you're not going to hear the music as much on this stream, I don't think.
Available parts. It is a bolt action blaster, similar to the Indra by Captain Slug, but massively improved and different in a lot of ways. But the basic function is the same. It's a bolt action. You lift up this little bolt handle up a bit, pull it back, it primes, push it forwards to load a dart, pull the trigger to fire. Simple as that.
Easy
In this
peasy.
video, we're going to go over how to assemble your Cynthia bolt action blaster, how to tune your trigger to feel very nice, how to attach the Mega XL spigot scar at the front.
Oh, I didn't print the scar yet. I got to do that.
Go over some of the customization options for the blaster. So let's get started. First off, this is the print orientation for all the parts on the Cynthia bolt action blaster.
Oh.
As you can see, it's not laid out very well.
Okay, I printed all of them.
You can see the barrel, and it has the name on it. You can get it in any combination of those as well.
So he's just going through all the different, there's different versions of the parts you can print. I only printed a few.
Let's start going into the actual assembly.
Okay, here we go.
Cynthia. To begin our assembly of Cynthia, we're going to start with the bolt and the plunger systems. The plunger is this bit right here. It goes inside the plunger tube, which is this tube. And the bolt is this orange and black area at the front, and this right here is the RAM. To assemble the plunger for Cynthia, we are going to take this orange piece and this black piece. Now.
Okay, so orange piece and the black piece. Mine are not orange. Or black. Ba-ba-ba-da. So that's not that. Oh, here we go. We got this. And that. Okay. So we got those two. Are these parts printed in ABS? They are. Everything. Oh, okay, we're good. Everything here is printed in Polymaker ABS, actually.
For the black piece, you need to figure out if you are using a thinner spring or a wider spring. What do I mean by that? This version of the plunger has corners that are cut off. This is meant to fit springs like K26, which are not as wide on the inside. If you use K26 with the normal plunger,
I think we're good.
Which is squared off edges like that, it might rub on the edges and cause issues with priming. So if you have your spring and you try to put it over your plunger rod and it's a bit tight on those edges, print this version instead. Assembly is the same for both of them. So I'll just use this normal one when we're going over assembly. To begin, you're going to hold your plunger rod like that, and you're going to push the plunger head over the end of it. Goes over the end. You're going to put 2 screws in the tip, 1 screw there, 1 screw there. Once those are in, you're going to put 2 screws in on the side. 1 screw on this side, 1 screw on this side.
Ooh, what kind of screws? Okay. they don't. It doesn't. It just go. Just go. Okay. So I've got my trusty. I've got my screwdriver here. From the. Yeah. Okay, I've got a ton of these little itty bitty screws, so I'm assuming that's them. If you know, you know. So again, as with pretty much everything with these kind of things, you're screwing into plastic. Don't overdo it. How much you want to bet Linus could go back in time and just take that 100 mil and run? just take the money and run. It's like that clip from Breaking Bad where what's his name is giving what's his name shit. He's like, we had it good. All you had to do was keep your mouth shut. We had a good thing going. That's Luke to Linus right now. Okay, so we got that on. So we got the 2 screws. Oh, tighten this a bit more. You're screwing into plastic though, so make sure you don't overdo it. There we go. Okay, that's pretty solid. Do give credit for not selling out. Well, he sold. It's good. I'm sorry. I keep hitting standby because in the deck I have in the garage, which isn't a stream deck, that button is this button. I got to redo all this. Okay.
Put on your O-rings. These are your largest O-rings. These are the -123 size O-rings. One will go over the tip of the plunger like that. Sit right there. Then the other one you are going to loop in between the teeth on the front of the plunger. You want to have 3 bits pushing off the front face of it and 3 bits behind the front face of it. This will provide plunger padding for impact. When the plunger goes forwards, it will hit against these rubbery bits instead of directly on the plastic, which should make your blaster more durable.
Neat.
Once those bits are together, you can set this aside. Now
Done.
that your plunger is together, we're going to start work on the ram.
Where is the part I gotta glue? What am I gluing? Like, I'm assuming I'm gluing this into something. And Apulo's telling me to do it now so I don't forget or something. Because it takes time to set. Or you know what? We'll get to that part. We'll glue it, and then we'll take a little break. We'll talk about something or something.
Now, the thing that I want to mention, this orange piece right here is called the ram base. Ram base. There's a version of the ram base for left-handed people and for right-handed people. And there are also versions of both of those other versions with a nut right here, this nut right here, or without a nut right there.
I printed it with the nut.
See there.
Oop.
The version without a nut is more durable,
Oh.
however it's harder to assemble.
Well,
because
I
you are
printed it with the
threading
nut.
a 1032 bolt directly into plastic, in which case I recommend that you use a power tool with a screwdriver head on it, and you
I got the
in
nut.
with a power tool. Be safe while doing that. You
I
don't
am
want
using the nut.
to slip off the screw and hurt your hand. So keep your hand free and put in that bolt along with your bolt handle. However, if you are using the version with a nut, it should be much easier to assemble. You just slide the nut into the slot right here until it's lined up with this hole. Then you would take your bolt, the hardware piece, the bolt, and slide it through the bolt handle, which is the printed piece. Line it up with this little alignment tab right here. Screw it in. There are also versions of this bolt base.
Okay, let's see if I can find that bolt. I know I printed it. Aha. Bolt. Bolt. Yeah, use the longest one. Okay, so that goes in there. There we go. Bolt. Bolt. There we go.
Base with this little tab sticking out the end and without it, like this. That is for if you have a locking or a non-locking bolt setup. When you're using,
I think I printed the
if you have
locking.
this little tab, you will need to lift up the bolt handle before you prime it back.
Okay.
If you do not have this little tab, you can just pull it straight back without needing to do anything.
No, you want the lock.
Sort of a thing for feel of using the blaster if you want it to be more of a realistic bolt action.
You want the bolt. You want the bolt.
Use the one with this little tab.
Digital Panda gifted him
That
community
goes
membership.
with
Cheers.
the Magwell back part, which is locked or unlocked to fit this tab or not fit this tab, and we will cover that later in the video as well. For the purposes of covering assembly, we are just going to use this RAM base right here, this version, and we're just going to cover how to assemble it with that. To start this off, you're going to take this black piece right here, which is inside the plunger tube currently. This is called the plunger cap, I believe.
Okay.
You want to determine if
Mine's
you have
brown.
the version without textured edges, which will be this one, or the version with textured edges, which is this one. If you have the...
We went with the textured because you know why. What are we doing? We're building a blaster.
plain version without textured edges, you want to take some sandpaper or a knife of some sort and rough up this highlighted blue area. Just this blue area. You don't want to do any of this area back here, none of it front there. You just want this blue area right here to be rough.
Okay.
At this point, we are going to then push it into the plunger tube, make sure that it fits. If it doesn't fit, sand it until it does fit. If it does fit, good. Take it back out. We are then going to take the plunger tube right here, and we're going to rough up the front area of it. That's probably going to be about this much area, as we can see.
Okay. I think I have sandpaper in here. Let me check. I should have some sandpaper in here. I don't think the kit comes with any, no. Let's take a look. I should have sandpaper in here. Or at least something. I do. Yeah, 150 grit. That'll do. Am I scuffing up the inside or the outside? I'm assuming it's the inside because we're gluing these. So I'm assuming it's the inside. What's the best extruder hot end combo? Depends on the printer. If you're talking on like a Voron, I personally like Revos, and if you're going with an off-the-shelf one, LGXs. LGX Lite or the full size. Orbiter V2 is a good one too. Your hot end really depends. Do you need super duper high flow? Go with like a Rapido. If you don't, I say Revo.
See right there. About that much area, you're going to take sandpaper or a knife or a file or something like that and rough up this inside edge. That's going to be the edge that we glue to, so we want it to be rough so the glue sticks. At this point, you're going to put the O-ring over this O-ring bit of the cap right here. You can see that is another one of your -123 O-rings. You are going to put that over. You want to then lubricate the inside edge of the plunger tube right about the area where you roughed it up. You want to put some of the lubricant in there. That will help when you're pushing the cap into the thing, and it will also make sure that the O-ring in there seals.
Gluing might be easier if you attach the bolt base to the PT cap before adding glue. Specifically for gluing the plunger tube. Link in the description.
This is a quick video going over how to glue plunger tubes to homemade Nerf blasters. Several designs of mine require you to glue the plunger tube to the rest of the blaster, like this. This is a part of the Cynthia, and I also do this on the slab. So I'll go over how to do it here on the Cynthia, but it's basically the same thing as on the slab. When you are ready to glue your parts, you have your...
Okay, so I'm gonna attach these two parts together right now, because it looks like I'm gonna be doing that anyway, so I might as well do that now. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about scuffing it and then yeah, scuff it and then glue it, like that just seems a little because the glue won't stick if I lube it, right? Okay, I might need a longer screwdriver for this. Lube the tube. Yeah, put the that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the lube in further in. No, I don't want to lube the O-ring, because if I lube the O-ring as I put it in, it'll get lube on where I'm gluing it. So what I'm gonna do is, Apulo said there, grab a Q-tip and put like a ring of lube further in where the O-ring will sit. Because the O-ring sits right about there. So going with a Q-tip, lube that up, and then when I put this in, we should be good, hopefully. Hopefully. Make sure there's no... Oh, if the Prusa will get input shaper. It has it right now. The release candidate firmware is out, and it works really good. So, yes, it has input shaper. It has it. It's got input shaper right now.
First off, you want to get your glue ready. I personally use CA glue, otherwise known as super glue. I use this nice gel super glue.
I've got B7000. I think I'm going to try that.
It's pretty nice. It gives you better control. However, I have used normal liquid super glue, and that works just fine.
Universal glue. Clear magic rubber.
And your printed part. You want to scuff the inside edge of the plunger.
The XL? DJ Rexa. It's unified firmware. It's unified firmware. They both run the same firmware.
I recommend that you take off the O-ring before doing this, but I'm not gonna. You know what? Yes, I am. I'm going to. So here we are. A flat surface. Super glue doesn't really have anything to grab onto.
Okay, so he's scuffing it up.
Now, if
so
you do the scuffing too far down, paper towel down on that, like that. And then you are going to rotate this to spread out the super glue.
Okay, I think I figured it out. Okay, so I gotta glue this to the tube. Let me grab my applicator for some grease. You will work. You'd use the super glue? Okay, I've got super glue. I've got Loctite 416 super glue. So how far in is it? About that? Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put the super glue on the tube. Or no, not on the tube. I gotta put it on here. Hopefully I don't get it all over my fancy Woo, those fumes! Oh, we feeling good, boys. Woo! I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake. Better fire up some of these ABS prints to offset. Excuse me while I take a swig from my canceled YouTube channel bottle. Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. Woo! Taylor, with the cardboard box cover over a Prusa Mark IV, if you look inside, can you shock the parts temp change? Technically you can, so just take a little peek. Collectible. Yeah, these are limited edition now. Nice 3DP. $2 just because. Cheers! Okay, so that actually looks like it should be pretty good. I don't want to... It looks like it's sealed up pretty good. And then the O-ring, yeah, so you can see you got the grease all there, and then the super lube or the super glue is right there, so should be good. There we go. PF Dennis gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers. So I'm gonna put that aside. Actually, do I have anything to put weight on it? Yeah, whatever. I'm sure there's enough weight on its own. Okay. back to the manual. Oh shoot, no, no, no. No, no, no. I don't want to get copyright strike. No. There we go.
Or two-part epoxy
Okay.
on this area right here. On the plunger epoxy, if you want to, you will then push it
Okay, so I've already glued it on.
back. Super glue. I recommend. No, it's a long wait, but you really want that super glue or two-part epoxy or whatever you're using to be fully cured before you move on the assembly steps.
No land show
Or at
show
least
tonight.
the assembly steps that involve this plunger assembly right here. After you have that plunger with the plunger cap glued in there and it's fully cured for the full amount of time that's needed, then we can attach the ram rod, which is this metal piece, and the ram cap. So you can kind of see here what's going on.
So we got...
First, we're going to screw this orange piece onto the black piece with these 3 screws. 1 screw there, 1 screw there, 1 screw
I
there.
already did that.
Then you're going to push an O12 O-ring into the cap, or into the area back there. That's this gray piece right here. This
Okay.
O-ring.
I don't think I need to lube it.
That bit right there. You're going to push that up against the back there. Then you're going to put in the ram,
Got the O-ring
which
in
is the
there.
metal piece. You're going to try and push it into there as hard as you can, reasonably. You want it to be pushed up against that O-ring at the back there. What I do is I set this up against a table. I put the end of this ram into the table, and I push down on with all this stuff down into the table. And then while you are pushing down, put in these 3 screws. 1 screw there, 1 screw there, 1 screw there. You want the screws to be equally tightened, so the ram doesn't kind of droop or get misaligned. So what I recommend is that you do this bottom one until it's most of the way in, then you do this one until it's most of the way in, alternate in between the two until they're fully tight, and then put in this last one until it's fully tight.
Okay.
And then you want...
So let's get these all started. So how's everyone doing today? Anything exciting going on in the world of 3D printing today? Anyone's printers decide to wake up in the middle of the night again? Because mine didn't. Do I know? Because I was up at 4 a.m. Aside from Bamboo's oopsie. Yeah. You know what's funny? I did a little research because, you know, I try to actually look into the things I'm commenting on instead of just, you know, parroting stuff like some of the diehard supporters of certain companies. So for the computer people, apparently it's called a impundency token. Somebody's gonna correct me. That's what Bamboo doesn't have. Impundency token. Look up 2 generals problem. Smarter every day, or not smarter every day. The YouTube guy talks about stuff. Tom Scott, 2 general impotency. So TLDR, Bamboo, it's an easy fix. You need it in, it's not persistency token. No, it's like I talked about it in the Discord. Let me pull it up here. Indemnity token. So TLDR, when you send a file, okay, here's your file, okay, when you send a file from A to B, what you do is you attach a key to it. So you generate a specific key. It's a completely random key. You attach that to the file. that file goes to the server. Okay, so from when you slice it, you generate your G code, it goes to the server. Because of course, Bamboo, you can't just send it from your computer to the printer, it's got to go to the cloud first. So anyways, you attach that key, it goes to the server. Now the server has this file in the key. Okay, so they know this is a unique thing. So if another one of these show up and it's got the same freaking key, it's a missend. Something, you know, something got screwed, the wires got crossed on the internet and it got it twice. So it knows to ignore that second one. Now, if the same file shows up again, but it's got a different key, well, then it was sent differently. It was a different send, okay? So that's how you know you don't receive the same thing twice on accident, because they each have identifiable standalone keys. So when you generate the G code before it goes from your slicer to the cloud on Bamboo's end, if it has this key, if another one shows up with the same key, it knows it's a fault and it ignores it. Same thing on the other way around. When the Bamboo server, the cloud, some other guy's computer, sends a file from the cloud to your printer, it attaches a key. Again, random key. Your printer goes, hey, I've got this file, I've got this key. What should I do? I don't have this file before, and this is a new key. Print it. Or what happened the other night, hey, this file showed up, I'm just gonna print it. Wait, I have a file with this key already. Oh, somebody screwed up. They sent the exact same thing twice. And I know they sent the same thing twice because it's the same key, because it's the same command. So I'm running the same thing twice, which I'm not supposed to do, because, you know, if my oven randomly turned on in the middle of the night, I wouldn't use that oven, but people are okay with their printer doing it. So instead of using this proper industry standard way of ensuring you have a correct flow of information and commands and everything is legit and you don't double send commands, what did Bamboo do? You have an extra button to print now, because now you have to make sure the bed is clear before you print. So they're not fixing it. They're just putting an extra step that you got to deal with so that if it does happen again, at least it won't break anything this time. So instead of using a standard industry way of solving this sort of dilemma, they just don't. They make you check the bed to make sure the printer is clear. Although if you got the fake LiDAR, it'll scan the bed and do it automatically. And you can opt into it. So if you don't opt into it, then technically your printer could still do it again. Yeah, they went low. Yeah, they went no effort. Here's the problem. Remember, you're not paying for the cloud service. So any money they spend improving the cloud service, they don't get a return on. It's not a paid subscription. So yeah, so instead of using, you know, proper tokens and certifications and whatnot that are industry standard to ensure that they don't double send a command, which is an established thing. Like if I take money out of my bank, okay, if I tell my bank to take money out, they don't double send it. Sometimes it happens. Like, don't get me wrong, there's no perfect system. But usually they have that sort of thing in place, and if they screw up, it's because that thing wasn't set up right. Okay, that's kind of a known thing now. This is what you do. And they don't have it. So, don't give them ideas. I want to give them ideas because so many people freaking use their printers, and guess what? They are good money for the value. The P1S is amazing bang for its buck. It's just, you know, got to work right. Okay. This is crooked. I got to fix this. Okay, 1 second here. Ooh. Yeah, because that was like the first thing I looked up is like, how do you set up something? It's basically the two generals problem, right? It's the two generals. You have two generals, each on the other side of a valley, and the bad guys are in the middle. And the one general needs to tell the other general to attack at dawn, okay? But if they don't both attack at the same time, then they'll fail. So they both have to attack at dawn. So the one general sends his courier, his runner, across the field through the valley to go tell the other general. But he doesn't know if his general, if the courier gets captured. Okay? So if he doesn't get captured, then he knows to attack at dawn, but he has no way to verify that. Now the other general, he receives the command, but he's got to go back and tell the other general that he's good to go. So he sends a courier, but again, the courier can get captured in the middle. So you have two people that you have to talk, but you have no way to verify the communications go through. How do you solve that? Now in a computer, we use tokens for that. Okay, in real life you kind of can't, but on a computer we can use tokens, and some people aren't. I saw I finished Baldur's Gate 3. What class did I end up? I played Sorcerer all the way through. I finished my playthrough. It took me 63 hours of play time, of game time on the save. Like when you save, it tells you how long you've been in the save. 63 hours. According to Steam though, I have over 80 hours. Because obviously reloading saves, redoing stuff. I redid, like I went to an earlier save and changed a bunch near the beginning. I'm already 14 hours into my second playthrough. Yeah. Anyways.
The face of the assembly, just look down the front and see if this ramrod right here in the middle is tilted off to one side or the other. So for instance, it could look like...
Okay.
Not like that, but more like this. So you can see it's kind of misaligned.
Yeah, you need this straight.
Like that's bad. Loosen the screws that you just put in. Make sure that it's fully aligned. It doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to be close enough. It's hard to really explain what close enough is, but if you have issues once you've gotten all the way through the rest of the assembly and the RAM won't close into the breach, it might be misaligned. At this point, you are going to then put 2 O12 O-rings on this little bit right here. You push those over the tip of the RAM onto that bit right there. Later in the assembly process,
there we go. We got 2 on there.
we're going to lubricate those so they go into the barrel nice and smoothly. We're not going to do that yet because we're not going to install this yet, and I don't want you to get lubricant all over your desk or whatever, because this is an open part until we fully assemble it. So when we assemble it, we're going to lubricate those O-rings so they slide smoothly into the barrel, but not yet. At this point is when you would then install your bolt handle as previously detailed. Just stick that in there. You do not want to have the plunger in there yet. You can have the plunger itself set aside. So that's these bits.
Okay.
You just have this set aside. We will install this later. In order to install the plunger later, we are going to put lubricant on the inside edge of the plunger tube.
Stream quiet.
And then we're going to just push the plunger all the way through, spreading out the lubricant, kind of move it in and out of it until the lubricant's all nice and spread around.
I don't want to play with all my audio settings. I could.
Again, I don't want you to get lubricant all over your desk. So once all that stuff's done, you have to make sure to have the O-rings on the RAM tip up here, or else it won't seal.
Links in the description. This is a Cynthia. I don't know if I linked the Cynthia.
You can set this part aside.
Called the Cynthia.
To the next part of assembly.
Okay, put that aside.
Next, we're going to assemble the front end of the blaster.
Ooh.
The front end of the blaster is made out of several parts. You got the muzzle piece right here. You got the muzzle nut. You need your barrel. You need your front block. Whatever front block you chose. Assembly should be the same in between all of them. Some of them might require a shorter threaded rod, in which case you can trim the one that was in your kit.
I went with slab side, no name.
Might not require a threaded rod at all, like the super stubby version. The super stubby version, you will just attach the muzzles straight to this piece back here. And the slim version is the same hardware as this normal version, but the parts look a little bit different, and there's a few extra screws down here that go from the front block to this back piece. But this is the assembly for the normal version. First off, we're going to take this threaded rod right here. This is the 7.5-inch threaded rod that came with your kit. The other threaded rod is for the trigger.
Okay, threaded rod. Did you color match all the parts? Kinda. There's 3 different colors for it. There's like main, accent, and then other accent. There's main, secondary, and accent. So I printed them all as per. Okay.
Trigger. So make sure that you're using this 7.5-inch threaded rod.
Oh shit, do I have a scale in here? I don't have a scale in here. Do I have a tape measure in here? I don't. Is the 7.5? Okay, I think that's the 7.5-inch.
We're going to add 1 nut. Version is the same hardware as this normal version, but the parts look a little bit different, and there's a few extra screws down here that go from the front block.
Yeah, I don't have one. Shit.
This back piece. But this is the assembly for the normal version. First off, we're going to take this threaded rod right here. This is the 7.5-inch threaded rod that came with your kit. The other threaded rod is for the trigger, so make sure that you're using this 7.5-inch threaded rod.
Okay, I need to measure this. So if that's... Yeah, I think the shorter one's 7.5-inch.
We're going to add 1 nut to the end of it.
Okay.
Ignore this nut up here for now. You're going to then push it through the back section of the dart gate, right there.
Okay. Ah, there we go. Got it. Got a sheet of paper handy? No?
Make sure that goes all the way through. Then you're going to push it through the front block as well. Once this is there, you're going to put a nut on the other end and tighten it. Make sure that it's at least finger tight, maybe 2 turns past finger tight. You don't want anything creaking or bending. So just.
Okay. Oh, to measure with. Oh, yeah, because paper's like A14, right? Or whatever it is. Do I have a wrench? I don't know if I have a wrench. Do I have wrenches in here? Ah. I don't think. Oh, I do. I do. Ah, no, wait. These are metric. And this is an Imperial kit. Good enough.
Just tight enough. And that's reinforcement for the front area. Then you can put in your barrel, and that will help you align the muzzle. You can put on your top 2 pieces of Picatinny rail with these screws on the top, right there.
Okay, Picatinny rail. I think I printed the run piece. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I printed a one unit piece. There we go. The one piece. Gun called Cynthia? Yeah, why not? And it's not. It's a blaster. Let's not incur the wrath of the YouTube censors. It is a blaster. Also, I printed everything here with Voron spec settings, so it's actually kind of heavy. Hey, Matthew. Foam rubber acceleration. Oh. Oh. I heard a little crack. Yeah, that split a little bit. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Just back it off, crack it, half a turn. Yeah. That's the problem when you're screwing into plastic. You have to go till it's tight, but it's a little easy to go over. Yeah, not properly tested. I'm using it. I didn't read the manual, and it's not working right. Must be a shit product. Who wants to buy this? I'm going to put it up on auction. What acceleration settings I use depends on the printer. Yeah, there's front end. And there is like a backstop, and also when it comes to the barrel, one end has a chamfer. One end doesn't. The chamfered end is your chamber.
You can put on your bottom Picatinny rail with those screws right there. Then you can put on your muzzle. You want to make sure that the nut here is aligned with the little nut keeping hole pocket here. And that will keep it from rotating and loosening over time. Then you will put this muzzle over the barrel, which will keep it nice and aligned. Then you can put in these 3 screws. One goes into the top rail up here, and then 2 into the front block down here.
Don't know if this is long enough. Yeah, that's not long enough. To use on my Vorons. Again, which printer? Most of them, honestly, to be honest, at today's day and age, use Orca Slicer and use the default Voron profile. That's a good starting point. It's kind of nice that these all use the same screws. There we go.
You can then push a 012 O-ring, that's your medium-sized O-ring, over the barrel. Push it all the way into the hole. Then push this nut over the end. So it looks something like this. And then once it's there, twist it and thread it into place down there.
So O-rings at the bottom, good.
And you just want that as tight as you can do it by hand. You don't need any tools to do it. Just do it as tightly as you can by hand. And whatever you do, do not lubricate that O-ring and do not lubricate the barrel on the outside. Because that O-ring is what's keeping it in your barrel. If you lubricate it, barrel will just slide out, which is bad. If you have accidentally gotten lubricant on that, you can try washing it with water and then make sure that you dry it off really well with paper towels or a towel.
Do I think LTT is going to recover? Honestly, yeah. Here's the thing, like, they have a lot of channels. They were doing fine. Like, yeah, they're a content farm entertainment channel now. Like, they're no longer what they were, right? But there still is room in the ecosystem for that kind of channel. They just kind of need to sort their shit out. You know, there are people, I've talked to people who work at LTT. I've talked to people who used to work at LTT. I've got nothing against anyone I've talked to from that place. And you know, say what you will, like, remember when I had the YouTube issues back when I first started trying to get the channel monetized, where my channel wasn't monetized, and I actually lost out on thousands of dollars in AdSense revenue because my channel wasn't properly monetized for a year, and YouTube told me it was fine. And long story short, if you're around, you know. I put a tweet out about it, and Linus reached out and like, hey, if you can't get it sorted out, let me know. I might be able to help. Like, so like my only actual interaction with Linus is a good one. So like, it feels like, from the outside, in my opinion, it's a company that was ran by a guy who, his name's on the company. It's Linus Tech Tips. It's Linus Media Groups. He just got way too invested in it when he should have stepped back at a certain point. It should have been it's people running a company with their friends when they shouldn't be anymore. It's a 100+ person company. It needs to be handled completely different, but they still ran it like they were just hanging out with their buds, right? Like, it is what it is. Grew too fast? He didn't grow too fast. See, tons of companies have grown way faster than LTT. It's just, they should have shifted. You could tell they were starting to. They brought in Taryn, the new CEO and whatnot, but this is something that probably should have happened a while ago. Like, yeah. Like, they really should have changed, like, but the problem is, the moment they become all corporate, then they lose a lot of their cred, right? Because now they're no longer, you know, the cool fun guys. It's a corporate entity, right? It's now like, oh, it's you know, it's like Fox or ABC, or it's like, it's a station, it's a company now. They lose that indie cred that you get with being, you know, a bunch of guys having fun on their YouTube channel, right? But it is what it is. Like, hopefully they sort their shit out.
Work once again.
Like, it's
You have that bit
it's 100+ people's jobs, right? You hope they sort their shit out and they can, you know, those people keep their jobs, but, you know,
done. Then you have your front end.
They screwed up shit.
The next part of assembly.
And that needs to be corrected.
Next, we're going to assemble the catch area of the blaster and the stock, which is this whole assembly right here. It is important to note that there are two versions of this plunger tube cover. One of them is fully encasing.
That's the one I got.
Parts. The assembly for this upper one, this one that fully encases everything, is slightly harder. Because instead of being able to slide in some of these parts from the front, you need to slide them all in from the back, which can be kind of tough.
Well, that's what we're doing. No more trust me, bro. Exactly.
In a moment, but for now, this is the stock area. I have a bit of this assembly recorded in person that I recorded a few months ago, so I will splice that in as needed. But for now, let's go over assembly. There are a few parts to this. The first step that we're going to do is we're going to put together these parts right here. This black piece.
And there's that silver trigger piece. I think this is it. Okay.
Be like this. You will put in the catch lever right there, and then push a pin through it from the side that has a slot for the head, which is this area right here. Push that.
Okay, so that, I got that goes in there, and pin goes through there. If I can get the pin to go through. There we go.
that in until it can't go in any further, and then make sure that you can tilt this piece right here up and down like this freely. You want this to be basically wiggly. You want it to be able to do this freely. So you just work it back and forth until it loosens up. You could put a little bit of lubricant on the inside edge of that, but I don't find that necessary. You should just be able to work it back and forth. You could do that before you put it into this black piece. You could do that with the pin back here, but I find it easier to do it like this when it's fully supported. It is worthwhile noting that it won't fully rotate like up to here being smooth. You just need it to like...
Everything's a hammer if you hit it hard enough.
Smooth. It's sort of like a 45-degree amount of smooth tilt. If you ever need to get this out, by the way, the other side of the pinhole is open, so you can use a punch or tip of a small screwdriver or something like that, and a mallet, and punch out that pin from the other side. So just pop it out like that. Now, in order to attach this piece right here, which is the plunger tube guide, it is different between this version of the top cover and this version of the top cover.
Okay, I got the more annoying one.
On the normal version, which is this one down here, you can pre-assemble some of this. You can attach this plunger tube guide to this piece for putting it into the cover. It just attaches with 4 screws. You want this little air gap hole to be facing down, like this, facing the same side as the pusher thing, this orange bit. Put those 4 screws in, then you can, skipping all of the catch stuff, which I will show you in that video that I did in person, you would then slide this plunger bit right here, sort of like this, so you'd kind of push it up into that front bit, pivot it up, so this dovetail up here is aligned with this dovetail right here, and then slide it into that dovetail. That might be a little bit tight on yours. If it is too tight to do it by hand, take it back out, use a file or sandpaper or like an X-Acto knife to shave down the dovetail until it's a nice snug fit. You do not want to use a hammer on this part because it will snap that top cover if you use a hammer.
I see the dovetail.
So don't do that. Use sandpaper to loosen the dovetail. Now on this one up here, you would first need to push in this black piece right here, and then push in that black piece until it's fully into this dovetail, then push the PT cover through this hole in the front all the way through, then screw it.
Okay.
Because with this extra material here, you can't do that sort of pivot up and push it back.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
You need to put in the dovetail first, then attach the cover with screws, then do the rest of the assembly.
Okay.
Speaking of...
So, because I went with the cool blacked out one, so I've got that block in there. Got the hole in the bottom. So that needs to go in there. So I need to like use this as a guide. I'm just going to use this camera, whatever. Okay. So that goes like that. Okay, I gotta get these kind of started. I can't see if these even go in all the way. Oh. There we go. Okay, so that goes all the way in like that. Okay. So that goes like that. Giggity. Okay, that goes like that. Okay, hole on the bottom. There we go. What colors did I go with? I went with like OD green, brown, and gold. All Polymaker, Polyalchemy, or Polymaker, Polyalchemy, Polymaker, Polylite, ABS, or ASA. I don't know if that's going in or not. There we go. Yeah, it's Army Green. It's Polymaker Army Green is the green. And it's their, pretty sure it's the Polylite ABS. Don't think it's ASA. What size Stream Deck do you have? This one is the 15 key, and the one in the garage isn't a Stream Deck. It's like a custom DIY keyboard I made ages ago. It's got 8 buttons on it, and I use it as like the same thing. I would like to have a Stream Deck out there, and I plan on getting a Stream Deck out there at some point. I just don't have one out there right now. Trying to conserve funds for the channel right now. Oh. Okay, so there we go. So that is that.
Of the rest of the assembly of this back bit. At this point, I'm now going to switch to that in-person video because I think I explained it better there than I can in computer land CAD. I can't remember if I explained it during the video, but at the end of the stuff in the video, you then screw on the butt plate with a few screws back here, and you do want to make sure that you push in this bolt here, or this nut here, into the stock before you attach the butt plate, and that's how you will attach the thumbhole stock. In the current version, that nut does rattle a little bit if you don't have the thumbhole stock installed, but that's fine. And then this butt plate keeps that nut in place. Alright, let's switch to that previously recorded video. And then at the end of that, we are ready to move on to the next part of assembly.
Woo. Okay, so I've got that together.
This black part right here goes onto the dovetails in there, which are green on this piece. It slides in this direction. So you put it here and then slide it up. It might be quite tight, in which case, instead of trying to push it on with brute force, which might snap this green piece, you should use...
Okay, I've already done that.
Make them surface on this black piece less tight, make them looser. Then slide this on until the surface of the dovetails is flat with the surface of this black piece in here, which is kind of hard to see. There you go, you can see it reflecting off the light. You want the tip of those dovetails and this surface of the black piece to be flush.
Okay.
At that point, you will then take your small spring, and then you can either put it onto the catch, in which place it should stick in place and not fall out, or you can put it on the little hole or divot right there on that green piece. In which case, you would then put this arm down like that. I'm going to put the spring on my catch. You want to look at your catch. There is one side that will be flat up here and one side that will be slightly angled up here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a slight angle right there. This side is flat. You want the flat side facing this way, So the flat side is this direction.
Towards the back. Okay.
This way is the flat side. So the flat side will be at the back of the blaster. And you will just put this in, lining up the spring with a little divot, put it lined up like that, and then you can push it in a bit and then pivot it down. Like so. You don't want to let it go, just like I did. You want to hold it in place until you're sure that the spring isn't going anywhere, because if you let go and this falls out, then the spring will go whee, and then you'll have no more spring. If you lose your spring during this step, you can use the spring from like a clicky pen.
Ooh, fancy.
That will be weaker, probably.
Bitcoin crashed to 3K. Nice.
Still work, hopefully. It's not ideal, but it will work. So yeah, the spring is now right there in the top middle of that part, as you can see. And then you'll take your stock part, take this. In between those steps, you do want to make sure that this arm right here is nice and loose. Should be able to pivot freely. You'll then take this stock part, slide it over this. It's kind of hard to see because my shirt is also black, but there are small weird dovetails right here, which you want to line up, and then also these two, the two black parts, which you can see there, also have a sort of dovetail feature in this little arm thing here, so you want to have those both line up. And in all of that, you don't want the spring to come loose. You don't want the catch to come unaligned while you're doing this. So just push those bits together. I find it easier to push in the bottom bit first, so just pivot it up a little bit, push that bottom bit in, and then come down. And then push it together until there's no more gap in between these two bits, or in this black piece right here should be flush with the back of the green bit. So you can see it's not quite there yet.
I'm kind of concerned because mine just all falls together.
And now it is. It is flush. Right
like,
there.
I'm not forcing anything,
So
it all
can
just,
see
you know.
This little dovetails
slots
right
all
there. And this bit, there you go, you can see in the light. That bit there, this bit has gone into this bit. Right there. At this point, you want to make sure that it's not too tight. So you'll then take a threaded rod. Ignore the nut on this. There won't be a nut in your kit, but you want to make sure that you can push through the rod hole and feel the spring pushing back against you, which means that the catch is working well and the spring hasn't come out. So this is good. Works nice. At that point, you can also try testing it with a plunger assembled. So here's my plunger assembled. You want to make sure that the catch notch is facing up. There you go, like that. There you go. So I pushed that in. It comes out the back, which it's supposed to do. And then I try pulling it there. It doesn't come out. You would then use the threaded rod to release that for it to come all the way out.
What makes
Push it
grown
down,
men
and then you
build Nerf guns? Do you need a reason? Like, is it that much of a concern? It's a fucking Nerf gun, man. Did you butcher your inner child? Where is your inner child buried? Did you butcher him out back? Did you go old Yeller, your inner child, and now you're just like a grumpy old dude now? Like, it's a Nerf blaster. Have fun.
can push it out from the back if you push in the threaded rod enough and make sure that it's not getting caught up in this circle a bit. And then, yeah, that comes out.
Now we are going to begin assembling.
Oh, okay. I guess I put the butt on now. So I'm 5'9". I found the other blaster. The length of pull wasn't good, so I printed the really big one. So hopefully I've got screws long enough for this. And so I guess this is only held on once you put the threaded rods in. So I don't have a screwdriver long enough for this, I don't think. Yeah, I don't have a screwdriver long enough for this. Shoot. Uno momento, por favor. I don't know if I have a screwdriver long enough for that. What would be the closest metric screw to these 732s? Would it be 3 mil? I'm assuming it'd be 3 mil. I'm assuming it would be 3 mil, right? Not 3 mil. Well, I'm talking to these. Yeah, hopefully 3 mil. Hopefully these are deep enough. I can. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Do I have a driver for these? That is the question. Shoot. No. Okay, well. Here are the screws with the kit. Okay. And these are 3 mil. Close enough. But I don't, these might be too long. Shh. I've got 2.5 mil. I could always use 2.5s. Use 2.5s. I don't want to use too big. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with the 2.5, so let's make a little bit more sense. Use JB Weld. Just JB Weld it. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, they're 732. They're not. They're 732 screws. They're not 732 of an inch. Yes, imperial screw sizes are kind of funky at times. Did I put in the nut? I did. There do be a nut in here. Okay, get one more screw. They're 440s. Are they 440? Okay. You don't know hell until you have to tap 440 and hardened H13 by hand, or something stupidly small like that. There we go. So that's that. You know this. Actually, that doesn't come off now because there's a one screw up top. Okay, cool.
The grip and the Magwell. This is the grip. This is the Magwell. Before we begin the assembly, I do want to mention there are two different versions of the Magwell. One version has no holes right here. In that one, you will use a spring down here in this little slot right here in the Magwell chin, which will go.
Which one did I print? I have the hole, I think.
Go into a matching divot on the
I got the spring.
mag release, like that. On the version that does have holes here, you can still use the spring, but I recommend that you use elastic. So you will take a piece of elastic, tie a knot on one end, thread it through this hole right here, around this little dip in the mag release, and then out this other hole on the other side. Pull it nice and tight, tie a knot, push the knot down until it's nice and tight up against that. Test the Magwell to make sure that it can still catch a magazine. If it doesn't, then you haven't tied it tight enough. You can try again. If you have, then you can trim the excess amount of elastic and then use a lighter on the ends of the elastic to prevent it from fraying in the future. There are also left-handed and right-handed versions of this Magwell back piece to go with a left-handed or right-handed bolt base, which was that part of the plunger that we touched on previously. Assembly is the same for both of them. It's just left-handed or right-handed. This right here, I believe, is the right-handed version. And the assembly is the same for the locked and unlocked version. Before you install this Magwell back piece at all, you do want to make sure that you push in this bolt detent, which is optional in your hardware kit. Might have it, might not. Makes it feel a little bit nicer if it does have it. So you push that in until it's nice and flush. If the bolt detent gets stuck, you can kind of poke it with a screwdriver until it gets unstuck.
I don't know if I have that.
If you need to take that out at any point, there is a hole on the very bottom down here, and that goes through the bottom of that hole, so you can use something very thin, like a very thin screwdriver or something like that, to poke that out if you need to for some reason. And there are two different versions of the trigger. Assembly is the same for both versions of the trigger. There are also tighter versions of this trigger that are slightly wider. You want to make sure that it slides smoothly in the trigger gap of this part right here, this mid block. So this area right here, you want to take the trigger before you assemble anything and slide it in this area. Make sure that it slides very smoothly. If it doesn't slide smoothly, if it's catching or too frictionless, too frictionful, if it doesn't slide smoothly, use sandpaper or a file. You can either sand the inside of this or the top side of the trigger until it slides smoothly. And
I printed these on a textured plate, so I kind of expect that's probably part of the reason it's not. Whenever you're sanding or filing anything, make sure you go both ways, right? Don't just do one way because you'll angle it. There we go. Oh no, I've got stuff all over my limited, no longer in production LTT mat. Oh no. Okay.
And you can lubricate this area, although I don't find it necessary if you do the correct amount of sanding. Alright, with those bits done, we can move into the actual assembly of this part.
Okay.
Alright, so we're going to begin this part of the assembly by assembling the grip. The grip is made out of a few parts. You can see here, there's a mid block, which is this top part. There's two grip panels. There's the grip core, which is the grip itself. There's a trigger guard, and there is the trigger itself. And then for hardware, it's just a few screws and this piece of elastic right here, which is very badly modeled, but you can see it there. That's the elastic. Oh, and there's also supposed to be a threaded rod sticking out the back of this, which I have for some reason forgotten, which I will go add shortly. We are going to begin assembly by sticking the trigger into this upper area of the mid block.
Okay.
Before we put the trigger into the mid block, which is this piece right here, we are going to attach the grip. The grip is attached with one screw right here, put in at an angle like that, and that will attach it to the mid block, which is right there. We want to do this before any other parts of the assembly, because once you add in the trigger, like this.
Okay. So that goes like that. This goes right there. can't do that because that's on an angle. There we go. Okay.
It blocks that hole, which is bad. So yeah, you want to attach these two parts before you attach the trigger.
How do I attach the trigger?
You're going to hold it here, just like that, without the elastic in. You're just going to hold it there, and you're going to take the threaded rod, maybe chuck this end into a power drill, or you can do it manually with a pair of pliers. And you're just going to push it through this back hole right here into the back of the trigger, and you're going to thread it in until it feels nice and sturdy. Should be approximately a centimeter threaded into the trigger. At that.
Okay, this is gonna be fun. So I need to thread in a threaded rod into plastic. And I don't have a drill in here to chuck it because my drill is in the garage. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. Haha. There we go. Okay.
At that point, you can then move the trigger back and forth, and the rod should move at the back as well, and make sure that that can move smoothly. You're then going to take your piece of elastic, which is this. You're going to tie a knot on one end, feed it in through the back of the trigger, and then feed it in through this hole in the mid-block until it pokes out here. You're going to pull this nice and tight, and then you're going to tie a knot on it, move the knot down into this hole, and then do the trigger pull again, make sure that it's nice and smooth and that it can pull fully back and be returned by the elastic force. Again, if the elastic isn't tied correctly, this will either be too tight to pull the trigger back or too loose to return the trigger. So if it's messed up, you can just retie it, try again.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, so one knot is actually enough. It won't come loose with one knot. So let's trim that. Okay. Okay. That's a trigger. I'll buy it. Good enough for government work.
There should be enough elastic in your hardware kits to try that once or twice without running out of elastic. So yeah, just try it until it works good. Some people don't like the elastic for blaster design as a whole, but I find that it's better to have elastic that you can't lose than springs that fly off into like the corner of your room and you can never find them, then you don't have a complete hardware kit. And B, elastic just feels nicer, in my opinion, on the trigger pull. And C, it is easier to design this around elastic. There's no real space in this mechanism to fit a spring in there unless I added a lot more bulk to design, so I didn't do that. that's besides the point. Now we will begin adding the side panels. Side panels attached with one screw up here and one screw down here. One screw goes into the middle grip and one screw goes into the mid block. In between the grip panels will go the trigger guard as well, and that has 2 screws, one on either side, like that. And then you can attach your other grip panel.
Okay. Okay, let's get to this. Mrs. interested in playing with the blast pedal? Not really. Not her thing. Little guy is. Little guy loves these things. That's why I have to keep him out of arm's reach. Don't forget, if you want to build one of these, we have a giveaway at the end of the stream. We have a $100 Silver Fox Industries gift card.
At that point, your grip is done. Now we're going to assemble the Magwell onto the grip. You're going to begin this assembly by taking your Magwell back, which is this piece right here, and your Magwell side right there. You're going to stick the Magwell back in between these 2 tabs on the front of the grip panels. You're going to stick that in between there.
So I don't think I have that detent. I don't think that little detent is part of this kit, unfortunately.
Then you're going to stick one of your grip panels over the outside of that tab, and then you're going to drive a screw through. This screw goes through the grip panel, through that tab, and into this middle Magwell back part. And you do want to make sure that you also have this ball detent installed, as we previously mentioned. We are then...
Okay, so this is... So we're basically putting together the... This is the front trunnion. So this is the front trunnion for the 8K folks out there. Detent is optional. Yeah, he said that in the video was optional. I just didn't know if this kit came with it, and it does not. So. So is it do both at the same time, I think?
Then going to add our pin for the mag release down here, just like that. And then you're going to put on your mag release, just like
Okay, pin goes in there. Mag release. So pin. Mag release. We got this the right way? No. It goes like that, yeah. Okay.
like that. you do want to make sure that this little tab at the front, or at the top right here, is going into this little area down here on the Magwell back.
Yep.
You can then attach your other half of the Magwell sides in the same way that you did previously, with the one screw there, and that will go through both pieces into the middle of the Magwell.
Okay. So we got the pin, we got the Magwell, then we got the other. Side there, okay. A lot of these holes are clearance, and they're not clearanced. So you're cutting thread through a lot of things that should be clearance. There we go.
You can then slide the Magwell chin on from the front. This has a dovetail right here and right here. So that will slide in from the front, just like that. At this point, if you are using the spring in your mag release, you would put that in there before you slide on that part. And then you can keep this Magwell chin on there with these two screws in the bottom. So the screw goes in just like that.
Okay, so got our spring. There's a little. It's kind of nice. They have these little little like protrusions for these kind of like hold into. So that they kind of stay. Okay. Oh, let's see. Not long enough. I hear cracking. Oh, there. Yeah, it cracked. Oh, well. It cracked in a non-worrisome way. Put a little... Nothing a little bit of post-assembly acetone won't fix. There we go. Yeah, you can see where it cracked. It cracked right there. No biggie.
If you are using the elastic, it would be at this point that you put in the elastic there. It's worthwhile mentioning that you don't need both the spring and the elastic. It's elastic or the spring. At this point, your Magwell and grip assembly is finished. At this point, we're going to take the stock and attach it to the grip and Magwell, and we're also going to install our plunger assembly, which is the stuff up here. In order to put these parts together, we need to first install our aluminum bars. Let me hide some of these parts here to show those. As you can see, these are the aluminum bars. Apologies for the mess, but here's the aluminum bars right here. There's one on each side, and they both go into these slots at the back of the Magwell back. You want to push these aluminum bars through all of the grip assembly, so all this stuff. Push these aluminum bars through until the holes up here line up. You want the side with the two small holes to be the side facing the Magwell back. You will then attach the bars with two small screws per bar. As you can see, here are the holes. One screw goes there, one screw goes there, one screw goes there, one screw goes there. And that's these small screws, these 440 size screws.
Okay. Just screwing away. Just screwing away. means it's, yeah, it's aluminium. Yeah, these could probably use a revision with heat sets, honestly.
These guys, that's these small ones. Once the bars are installed, we will then begin assembly. In order to assemble these parts, there is a certain order of operations that you should do.
Okay.
First, we are going to take the plunger assembly and put it into the stock and the catch. Then we're going to slide all of that onto the grip and magwell. So I'll go over how to do that next. So in order to do this, we're going to take your fully cured and assembled plunger assembly. Make sure the glue is fully cured. Going to take all of this. You're going to take your plunger. You're going to put it into that assembly. Make sure to lubricate back here on the back of the plunger tube before you.
Okay. Let's lube the tube. Lube the tube. Is white lithium the right grease for this? I don't know, but it's what I'm using. Okay.
Push in the plunger. You will then put your spring in over the plunger rod, whatever your spring is. You can then take that whole plunger assembly and then slide it over into this hole on the back or on the front of the stock. You want to line up the plunger rod with the little hole in there, this hole back here for the plunger rod. You want to make sure that the plunger rod's catch notch is facing up. So this little cutout right here, you want that facing up. Otherwise it won't catch. At this point, you can then just push that in. You don't want to push it all the way back.
Oh.
You don't want to like prime it.
Well, I already did.
If you do, it's fine. You can prime it by sticking the threaded rod through this hole and poking the catch pusher back there.
Good thing I put the threaded rod
I
in.
generally don't advise that you prime the thing before it's fully into the blaster, because if it goes off without being fully assembled, this thing is basically just a giant rocket now, with nothing at the front to stop it from flying out. At this point, you can then slide that onto the grip assembly, which I'll now show. There you go. So we'll just slide all that on from the back of the grip assembly.
Okay.
You do want to make sure that.
Well, let's see if it launches like a rocket. So if I pull the trigger, oh my god! Oh yeah, that's got some oomph. That's got some oomph.
The threaded rod is lined up with that hole right there. And you want to make sure that the aluminum bars are going into their correct slots. Hello, this is a splice in from later in the video after I recorded this section. You do want to tune your trigger pull length for the catch.
I think we're good.
You will do that before you put the pin in back here. You want to slide everything together. You don't need the thumb hole stock. Slide everything together and prime this back, push it forwards, put your finger over the ram, which isn't shown here, but put your finger over the ram so it doesn't dry fire, and pull the trigger. You want the trigger to be able to trip the catch. If it can't, it's either too far in. The threaded rod is either too far into the trigger.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's... Yeah, I need to go in a little bit more. It's a little too tight. Okay, so... how, shoot. I got the rods in. What's the easiest way to do this? Yeah, I need to screw the rod in a bit more. It needs to go in more. Yeah, I gotta take these out. Spread the rods to get the drill in there. Yeah, well, let's see if I can spread them. Use plier to turn rod. Yeah, I'll put 2 nuts on it and just do it the old-fashioned way. So what you do, for those that don't know, if you ever need to screw in a threaded rod and you don't want to damage the threaded rod, what you do is you get 2 nuts. You put the 2 nuts on the rod, you tighten them together, and then you can tighten the rod by turning the back nut. That ain't gonna work. Take these rods out. Or at least take one of these out. Okay, so I need to move this in. Do I have a marker out here? Shoot. I've moved like everything inside, so I don't have like my markers or anything that I would normally use to do this. Okay, I think that's good. I didn't have to go far. Okay. Hold a Revo nozzle so I can heat the tip clean off. Yeah, I've had to do that so many times because when I worked at the shop. So a lot of like limit switches and whatnot, you use threaded rod for a lot of it. So when you have to screw in a shit ton of threaded rod constantly, you just put 2 nuts together quickly, and then you can drive it without damaging it. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're good.
And it's not reaching the catch, or it's too far out, and it's tripping in the catch without letting you prime the blaster. Like, it's always releasing the catch.
What is that song? What is this song?
You can
I know it's like the
use that
Wii
to
music, but
adjust
it's mixed
the
with
trigger feel
something.
as well. If you want there to be a lot of take up on the trigger before firing, so you can pull it back a bit and then it fires, you want the trigger rod to be slightly shorter, so you would just thread that into the trigger. And if you want it to be a hair trigger, you thread it out of the trigger until it reliably catches, but you don't have a lot of take up before.
Yeah, I wish I had a D10.
So just fire as soon as you pull it.
It's a little too loosey, but it is.
So that's how you tune the trigger for that. Once it's fully in, these holes back here should line up. These are the holes in the back of the bar.
Okay.
And then you can stick this pin into those, which will lock it into the stock. At that point, this whole thing is done. You would also install your thumbhole stock at this point, which I don't think I have shown. There we go. In order to install the thumbhole stock, you take one of your 1032 nuts, you slide it into the slot down here. You take the thumbhole stock, you put it into here. You line it up in the back first, and then kind of tilt it down into this area up here. You might need to hit it from the bottom with just your hand, like a light tap. Pop into place. Then you take 2 of your 1032 bolts, which are these dudes right here. These ones. And those go into these 2 slots on the bottom of the thumbhole stock. One goes into the stock butt area, and one goes into the brick.
Normally, I'm not a fan of thumbholes stocks,
while you're doing that, to make sure
but considering how much tension's on this,
fall out while you're trying to assemble it.
Yeah. Also,
At that point,
man, that length of pull's still
back
really
half
short.
of your blaster is done. The last real step of assembly is attaching the front end. The last step of assembly for your Cynthia bolt action blaster will be attaching the front end. In order to do this, it's pretty simple. You just slide in the entire front area that we assembled previously, which will be, let me just
Oh, I'm gonna have to lube up these rings.
Quick. That's all of these bits. You just kind of slide it into the front. You do want to make sure that you have attached the 2 012 O-rings on the tip of the ram right here, and you want to have lubricated those with the provided lubricant. And then you can just slide that on, and then attach it with, I think there's 7 screws. There's 3 on each side of the magwell, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then there is 1 up here, back here. So 1 screw right there. This one is sort of angled, so keep that in mind
Okay.
when you're putting that one in. It doesn't go straight in from the top. Yeah. Once you have all those bits,
So this goes into there, and that goes like that. This actually was a pretty simple build, I will say. Obviously, we're not done yet. We haven't test fired it. But we'll find out. Okay, why aren't you lining up?
3D printer had a job. Bam,
Ah!
bam, the damn thing go wild. Bam.
to fit.
Autoplay to Grant video. There we go. Use the bamboo and print the part in multicolored camo pattern. You could. Probably waste a ton of filament, but you could. Yeah, I haven't watched Grant's video yet. The print fix Friday. Yeah, the fact there's no dedent for this is kind of, it's like, ah. What filament did I go with? This is all Polymaker Polylite ABS or ASA. And this thing has a ton of leftover parts. gold change color? It is gold, but it's not a silk gold, so it's more just like a dark yellow. My arms are actually getting tired. An electric screwdriver with actual torque would be very nice for this. And there's one up top. There we go. So this is it. It feels very halo-y, especially in these colors. Okay. Always load one first. Okay, that fits there, and yeah, you kind of, it won't drop freely, but you can. Okay. That is a lot of torque. No, don't do that, because I got all my quadcopters there. I don't want to shoot my quadcopters. Where'd I go? I don't know where I went. Oh, there we go. Ah, it didn't blow my head off. It doesn't feel as thumpy as the other ones. Let's actually aim it at something so we can hear it. Checks, the seal should be good. It might take like a few rounds to like break in, because all the grease is like not worn in yet. If you're curious, I do have a chronometer or chronograph on. Whew. Yee. Let's see, will it make a hole in a cardboard box? XR bunker, ammo find. Yeah, oh yeah, they're everywhere already. Okay. Where'd that cardboard box go? Okay, random cardboard box. Yeah, sure. Put some weight on it so it doesn't actually go flying. 1 second here. There we go. Okay, am I loaded? I don't think so. Maybe I am. Nope. Ow! That came back at me. Yep. It chooches. She chooches. No, I didn't put a B car on it. I gotta put a scar on it, which is a I've got one on the other one. I could go grab the other one and take it off. But basically, it's like a muzzle device with a bunch of bearings in it. I gotta buy more bearings. I'm out of bearings. I have enough pins. I don't have enough bearings, and it spins it. So it actually spins the dart, so you get more accuracy. So the only thing I'm noticing is when you, I'm like, I wish this part right here, the guide part, came back more. Like, I know it can't, but I can load full-size darts in this. It's got an open breech. Okay, let's see what we get out of this guy. Is that a one-off? Okay, that one didn't read right. It's not reading. Try not to hit my fire extinguisher. Ah, shoot, I turned it off. That was 244. This thing's hitting 244. Did you hear the ding? Please tell me the noise canceling didn't clear. Oh my God. How fast is this thing booking? It's not reading it. What do these cap out at? X-Core Tech X3200. Chronograph for BBs. It'll do 400 millimeter or 400 meters a second. So it should be able to go pretty fast. I was aiming down. Let me try aiming straight. This thing is okay, aim straight. Okay, that's 216 on that one. $230. Okay. Oh, knocked my chair over. Knew it was going to happen at some point. Yeah, that just punches through it. I need to put a red dot on it. I need a red dot. Problem is, I don't have a red dot. It's on the other one. Or irons. I gotta put some sort of sighting system on this. And it feels a lot more rigid. So I have one already. I got the pump one. And that one, every time I pump it, I feel like the whole thing's twisting. This is a lot more rigid, it feels like. Like even with the motion, it definitely feels a lot more like rigid. What time is it anyways? Oh, cool. We got 20 minutes. That bounced off the wall and came back and hit the camera. The camera jostled. I like. That is all. This is actually kind of grippy. This is actually pretty textured. No math today? I don't know. I used an older one, so probably not. Are you down here? Where are you? Where are you? I know you're down here. Where are you? I know it's down here. Where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? Oh, it's over there. Please tell me your battery's not dead, because you're a freaking GoPro, and everything GoPro does is super annoying. Of course it's dead. Freaking GoPro. I hate GoPros. I swear, GoPros are the most annoying, like, buggy piece of, like, camera equipment ever. Like, half the time it's like, oh, you want to do anything? Well, take me apart so you can pull the battery out so you can reset it so it'll actually work for you. let it charge for a bit. It's about you. Are you? You got a full battery. Charge the GoPro. I want to use the GoPro. I want to use high speed. Don't they overheat? Not as much as like you would. Yes and no. The problem is they just like to like not work half the time. Like this one doesn't want to turn on. Fuck it. Okay, either way. He seems to have lost his head. Okay, I want to try and take the head off and leave the body still. Oh God. I have no idea where that head went. It's gone. Clip it. So yeah, and the kit, if you're wondering, I've got a ton of extra. Oops, yeah, I dropped all that. Like, there's all the extra screws and whatnot, and springs and washers, and they even give you a little bottle of lube that I never used. Slug Slime tube lube. That broke the head clean off. That moves a decent amount of air. Cool. So I did print some extra parts. I don't know what half this stuff is for. Oh, it's if I did the two-piece, which I did. Yeah, I could have did the open, like keep all this open, but yeah, I wish there was a detent. Yeah. There's one. There are darts all over the floor. That was fun. That was fun. Print the darts in PLA so they hurt. Yeah, you're the kid who put your paintballs. Jesus Christ. You're the kid who put your paintballs in the freezer before going paintballing, aren't you? That is bass. I like it. I wish the length of pole with a little bit more. Probably about that much. I need about that much length of pole for me. This I find too much. But 240 feet per second. Okay, make sure you enter, because in 10 minutes we're going to do the giveaway. Got 10 minutes and we're doing the giveaway. This thing is awesome. And again, it's all, for those wondering at home, it's all Polymaker filament, which if you want to win a spool, link in the video description. It's all ASA and ABS, mostly ABS. This is the brown, I think it's just brown. The green is Army green, and it's their gold. It's either Polylite ABS or Polylite ASA. I can't remember which one's which. It might be all one or the other. I can't really remember. And the kit is a Silver Fox Industries kit, which if you want to win a gift card, we've got a $100 gift card to Silver Fox Industries. Link in the video description. So we're going to be doing those draws in 10 minutes at 5 o'clock. Very Halo-esque. It is. It very is Halo-esque. Like it reminds me, I can hit the Magwell. Trigger's not bad. A little bit of side-to-side wobble, but it is what it is. It's a straight trigger. It's like a 1911. It's a straight pull trigger, right? It's like a 1911. This thing's a 1911, right? It's a bolt action 1911 that shoots Nerf darts. That's what you, no, you would never use this. Like even like trank guns have higher FPS, and you're not using a printed blaster for that if you're using actual proper equipment. Never knew what you need to build. Neither did I until Apollo sent me the first kit. So I do have to put this on. So this I didn't put on. You want that out as far as possible. It's right about there. And then this slides in. That. And you put a screw in it. And that locks it in place, actually. One more rail set forward. You want to get right up on that muzzle brake. You want to do that gunfighter stance, right? There we go. Yeah, I need about another inch on the length of pull. Like, you know, you want to pull it in, right? You want to be all Terran tactical, right? Right up on the muzzle, right? Just square up and just. No, it's not a free floated barrel. Points for it not being a free floated barrel. So the one thing I didn't print for it is the, there is a muzzle device for these, actually. I don't know if he talks about it here.
It's fully assembled. If first, then you push an O-ring over the tip, push the scar in until it bottoms out against the barrel, and then bring towards the nut and tighten it until it's nice and tight.
So I got to print that. So does that...
There is your Cynthia bolt action blaster. Slap a mag into it. And then you are.
So that I forgot to print that, so I got to print that now.
That is it for assembly. Enjoy your blaster. Thanks for watching.
But that's just, I think, superficial. So angry, Grant. So angry, rogue printers. They're coming to get you. Skynet. I just have a math question now. Why not? Because why not? Make your work for it. Like, is it, if you're having trouble with the math question, like, they're not that hard. Skynet. Well, just botnet. It's like, I leave all my printers on the top. People online are hilarious. It's like, oh, you leave your printer on? I'm like, yes, it's always on. It barely uses any power when it's sitting there, and it allows me to hit print at any moment without having to go to the garage and turn them on. So yes, I leave my printers on all the time. But yeah, some people are like, oh, just turn them off, and then this won't happen. I'm like, no, it can still happen. We shooting already? Yeah, we've been shooting. We shot my head off. I William told myself. Actually, shoot. I don't have it anymore. I think I got rid of it. I used to have the mini Joel. I was gonna William tell Joel telling. Should do a video on print idle power usage. Roughly the same as a Raspberry Pi. You got a Raspberry Pi sitting there. The motors on most printers shut down. At least on mine are all configured to shut down. I mean, okay, put it this way. This printer and this printer and this printer are all on this UPS right now. Let's see. So what? So this printer with the lights, the Mark IV, this one, and is that it? I'm sitting at like 30 watts idle. Of 3 printers just sitting there, 30 watts. So that's 2 Raspberry Pis and the Mark IV. And the lights. So if I were to turn off the Mark IV, okay, the Mark IV draws about 14 watts at idle. Yeah, 14 watts at idle. A Mark IV just sitting there, 14 watts. Actually, okay, I read that wrong. Okay, that was actually 30. Okay, so these two on idle is 24 watts. The Mark IV is 24 watts. I don't know if this one's actually, oh no, that one's on. Yeah. $10 a month. Woo! What do you do? My power bill is anywhere from 150 to 200 a month. So, and that's with a decent amount of printing plus several computers on. I leave my computers on all the time too. So, this was fun. This was a fun build. Did you guys have fun today? That was fun. How's my numbers at? It peaked at 300 people. 300 people ain't bad. Price in 400 a month. I've got AC on too. It's been hot as shit too here. I gotta cut the grass tomorrow. That's what I gotta do. There is a little bit of a catch when you get going with this. I kind of wish there was like a top rail for this to ride in, so it doesn't cant as much. Because I'm kind of like, it's not as bad as it was. Why dry fire? Why not? It's got little rubber bands in there to prevent damage. 200 a month is a lot. Well, I'm also running multiple 3D printers that are also always on, along with a full power computer that's on or actually, in terms of desktops in my house that are always online, this one's always on. The one in the garage is pretty much always on because I always forget to turn it off. My wife's computer is always on. My computer is always on. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 for over 100 hours with a 3080 cranking away at ultra settings, so that's putting out some heat. Yeah. And solar, can't do solar. Can't do solar in Ontario. There is like no rebates for it at all. So it's stupid expensive, and most of us are too far north for it to really make a big impact. So. This came out really nice. There's a few printed parts that I probably should reprint just for cosmetics, but I really don't care. Okay, how much time we got left? 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes to enter for these giveaways. We'll do the Polymaker filament first, and then we'll do the whatchamacallit one after. Ooh, are you finally online? Oh, you're live. Okay, cool. No, I don't want time lapse. Standard. Ultra slow-mo. Okay. I need light. Ah! I need a dart. That'll do. Do I have an SD card reader out here? Hopefully I do. Okay. So this is ultra slow-mo, 240 FPS, 2.7K. Okay. Sweet. Okay. I think I broke the dart on that. Canadian getting excited by gun. I know! I'm gonna go put this in my safe next to my AR-15 right after this. Which is under the safe with the 1911s. Right, actually, right next to the Mosin. Come on, load. Oh, come on, come on. Oh no. I don't think that's a two. Oh, that's a slow reader. That's why. Mosin, it means moist nugget. Uh-oh, my computer froze. I've lost my taskbar. I've lost my taskbar. Control Alt Delete. Task Manager. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Where is CPU usage? Not that Task Manager. No, where is Desktop Windows Manager? There we go. Okay. Nope, nope. Okay. And task. There we go. Okay, it came back. There we go. Woo! USB drive is fucky though. Okay, let's try a different USB port. Let's actually try a high-speed USB port instead of USB 2.0. Like that. There we go. I just want to get the high-speed footage of that. Okay, DCIM. It's got to do like the whole refresh thing. I have no idea where that model went. Where did I send myself flying? Oh, he's over there. Okay, where are you? Sort by date modified. There we go. Okay, drag you to the desktop so it actually. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's supposed to be 240 feet per second. Playback. How do I play that back at properties? How do I change the speed? In tools, playlist, open media, view, speed, slower. Where was that? Playback. Doesn't want to. I'm gonna have to like render it out. I'll render it out in DaVinci, and then I'll put it on the Twitter and whatnot. Let me chuck it on the server. Where is Misk? Yeah, I'll put it on the. I'll throw it on the server and I'll render it out. There we go. Okay, cool. Turn off these lights because it's blowing out my lighting. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's do the giveaway. Giveaway. Who wants a giveaway? Is that on the server? That's on the server. Okay, cool. Giveaways. Wheel of Names. Okay, so we're going to do the Polymaker filament first. So if you didn't enter, you'll have another chance tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, we're back out in the garage and we're building Ultimakers. Originals. Like the old one. It's going super awesome. We're putting the tool head in the motion system, and we're putting the bed together. And we're going to start with the electronics, hopefully. We might actually get it printing. Ah, dang it. There we go. Okay. Control copy. Boom. Delete. Okay, somebody give me a number between, like, I don't know, 5 and 8. 5 and 8. Give me a number between 5 and 8. 5 and 8. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Round and round it goes. Where she stops is like right here. Right there. Right there. Right there. Dom Del Vicio. Okay, the guy who's in a bad guy in Assassin's Creed just won. Congratulations. Golf claps in chat. Let me pull up your information here. You will get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. So congratulations there. And now let's do this gift card for Silver Fox. Now this is a one-off, so we're not doing this one every stream. So this one's just a one-off. So you will get an email from me after the stream ends with the gift card information. So. Okay. So this went, what, 240 FPS? I need a number between 2 and 4, because I'm not counting to 40. 75 keg, you are way off. 3. 1, 2, 3. Look at it go! And the winner is Peter Savas Jr. Congratulations, Peter Savas. You will also get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect. You'll just get an email actually with the gift card. And there we go. 1 of 1. Like to see it. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So we're gonna call it there. Again, shout out to Apulo for sending me the kit to build this. These are fun. Build one. Seriously, if you got a 3D printer, just build it. Why not? It's like 2 spools of filament. Depends on how many colors you want to use. The kits are relatively cheap, like 45 bucks US, and it's a pretty bitchin' Nerf gun. Like, just build one to do one. Like, what? I mean, let's be honest. What the hell else are you using your 3D printer for? You're printing whatever the meme print of the month is on your 1 spool of filament you print a month. Do a project. Have fun. So we're gonna call it there. I am hungry. I gotta go make dinner. So shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament we gave away this stream. Shout out again for the community member for donating that gift card for Silver Fox Industries. Again, not a sponsored stream. Just check them out. Link in the description. And for those that donated to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create, without your continued support. You make it all possible. Make sure you follow me on the Discord and Twitter at 3DPNero. Also, there's some asshat pretending to be me on social medias. We've got them on Discord. I think they made a Twitter too, and they're emailing vendors pretending to be me, trying to get free shit. Yeah, no, it's nero3dp@gmail.com is my only email address you'll ever hear from me by. You know my Discord account. If you're on Discord and somebody contacts you pretending to be me and they're not an admin on that Discord, it's not me. So yeah. They're so bad about it too. They use like the low res image of me. It's stupid. But anyways, we're gonna call it there. I will see you tomorrow. We'll carry on with the Ultimaker original build. So hopefully no more splinters. Yeah, it's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Wash your hands, and I'll see you tomorrow.